Hi, I'm here with Julia, and she is kicking ass with an insane Kill la Kill cosplay that she was stopped by 3 people before I had a chance to stop her for some photos, and as I was doing photos, other people stopped for more, so it's just how good the cosplay is and how nice she is. So thank you so much, Julie, for taking the time to talk to me. It means a lot. So first question is, what got you into cosplay?
Well, I'd always like to dress up. I'm an actor, professionally, sort of in training, but also professionally. And I'd always been into anime ever since I was 10 and thought it was beautiful, and I wanted to draw the big eyes and stuff. And when I saw that people were starting to dress up, I was like, I want to do that. And then when I got to high school, I made friends with a lot of other people that cosplayed, so I kind of joined them. And the second time I ever cosplayed, I did a Aerith from Final Fantasy, and I got stopped a lot, more than I had with my first one, which was just like a wig and a shirt. And
sorry, you kind of have like the big eyes. I can totally see you pulling an Aerith off really, really well.
Yeah, I've done Aerith like for about 3 years, like con after con, 4 actually, I think. So Aerith is my favorite, but this one's a new one.
So this funny thing, you mentioned that you got into cosplay before high school, anime and all that. Do you think like cosplay helped you get into acting, or is it acting that helped you get into cosplay? And how did that help each other out?
I think acting helped me get into cosplay a little bit more, especially some of the times it helped a lot for posing, and eventually it just sort of became another outlet for me to just do a lot more acting for characters that a lot of like my theater friends wouldn't know much about, and I can kind of like, you know, get the nerdiness off of me, so I don't have to play all the typecast characters, and I can just play like someone powerful or somebody that I really like and that I get to pick too.
So what was your first experience in cosplay like? Were you nervous? Did you have like the dread of the community judging you harshly? Can you tell me about how that was?
I don't know what I was expecting in my first cosplay. I was Matt from Death Note, and I had just a wig and a shirt and some goggles, and I wasn't expecting anything. I just thought like, oh, you have to be dressed up to go. But like people were giving me hugs, and I was so surprised that people could give you hugs, and I thought this is just really nice, and everyone's like quoting all these internet videos as I'm walking down the hallway, and it's just like, this is a weird place where I feel like everyone's like me, and that's just how it happened, it seemed. And then the next year I was like, I want to do something real, I want to sew, and then I was in line waiting to get my ticket, and then people were already taking pictures of me as Eris, and it worked, and it just went uphill from there, and I go with my friends to this con every year. And
great, wonderful. You know, I love how you touched on it. I talked about you before I started the interview. It's just like I fell in love with the community. I fell in love with everyone being so welcoming and nice. And how is that for you, like going from, you know, I would say the pressure from acting, everyone's fighting for the same things, or just the pressures of the real world. And then you come here and there's 5 good-looking guys in kimonos taking pictures in front of us, and everyone's nice.
Yeah.
How is this for you?
It's strange because sometimes I get hit on, and that doesn't happen in real life very often, it's a little weird, but it's kind of like a secret for me, for my friends. Yeah, but people can tell because I wear glasses or something, and then everyone knows. But I usually don't talk to many of like people outside of like my closer friends that I cosplay at all, because I'm a little embarrassed. But like when I come here, it's like, oh, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. We're all here. We're all in wigs and swords and.
I love how you're saying that, and you're dressed and owning the most confident character of the entire show.
Of course.
So having that little nervousness come through, it's wow. So have you made any friends in these sorts of events, or do you like see people here and you're just like, thank you, my safe haven, something like that?
Oh yeah, I've made friends.
Okay.
It's crazy. I'm here, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I remember you from last year, or I remember you from, like, we see each other yearly, and it's really strange, but like I never interact with them outside of the con. But then we're here and we're suddenly like chatting it up, like, oh yeah,
I'd be kind of hoping you guys would be like friends afterward, planning your con trips together.
I mean, it's difficult to when you live different places,
Yeah.
but I don't usually go to very many cons myself. I usually just like stick around my area, and then like in the summer when I'm home from school, I can go to AnimeNext because I'm from around here.
Okay.
So
you're hesitant about bringing any more of your acting friends into it? I mean, I feel like that's something they could like just slip right into.
I mean, I got some. I have one of my best friends from acting school is here
Oh, okay,
today.
okay.
Yeah, so she's around. She's floating around.
When you first said it, I was like, wait, that makes no sense. You feel like at least one would want to do this sort of thing.
Well, definitely. There's
Okay.
definitely some, but I usually don't. But a lot of the people that I work with, some of them are kind of just like we're actors. I'd like to do Shakespeare. I like to do classical singing and stuff. And I mean, I like to do Shakespeare. I like to do classical singing myself, but
You're not being so stuffy about it all, basically.
Oh no.
Okay.
I like to branch out
Yeah.
a lot, and I think this is just a nice little outlet because I don't always get roles all the time, but sometimes it's even helped me get roles.
Oh, that's nice.
So
what would you say to someone who was like, I know you're nervous, I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
But what would you say to someone who is nervous, who wants to do this sort of thing, but is scared? What would be your advice to that first person who's looking like, oh my God, she's amazing, she's owning it, I want to be like her, but scared of the backlash? What would your advice be?
There's not much backlash, to be honest. The community is much more accepting than you'd think. Even if you start somewhere and it's rocky, everyone starts somewhere, and there's the vast majority of everyone who's the cool and beautiful, they've also started somewhere. And everyone's usually very supportive, and if you're some character that everybody likes, they'll appreciate you for your character.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I throw the question out, and most of the time I get the response of like, just do it, because everyone's so welcoming. And like you said, you're getting hugs, and that blows my mind that like we come to these events and I've seen it happening. Just like, oh my God, you're that person, and wow, that just openness is beautiful. Well, thank you very much for chit-chatting with me. Oh, wait, actually, one question. What's the cosplay you want to do, like you really want to do, but you like too expensive or it's too much work? What would be that cosplay for you?
I gotta think. Okay.
Okay.
In Final Fantasy VII, there's this one part when they're in Junon, and then Cloud sneaks aboard the ship, and then he can't find the rest of his party, and then he notices that the rest of his party has snuck onto the ship as well, in disguise of the infantryman soldier uniforms. I've always wanted to be Aerith in an infantry soldier uniform, and everyone would think I'm just a regular Shinra infantry soldier, but then I'd remove my helmet and it's Aerith from that one scene in the game.
I love how that's super specific, but it would still be super adorable. Like, especially with the mask off, and the traditional Aerith thing. Maybe if you had like flowers, I don't know, something to just also tie it in, so they like, oh, okay. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you.
Cool.